Gator don't play no shit. You feel me?
Is a matter of belief, but we are certain that Satanism exists.
Welcome to That Other Horror Podcast. So many podcasts out there try to be the one and the only. We know we're not that good. We just try to be that other one. I am one of your hosts, Ryan, and with me as always are your hosts, Clint Jr., a reference I actually understand for once. Clint, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
Doing great. And also, we have Nicole, not Junior, just Nicole.
Just Nicole.
How you doing, Nicole?
I'm all right. How are you?
Doing great.
Doing great.
It's been a week of Mondays,
Yes.
which I'm sure we're all going to get into in just a moment here. That's right. I was going to pick a new saying. When we just shoot the shit, because I can't talk about putting my feet up anymore. And of course, after we do that, we're going to talk about 1984's The Mutilator.
You are about to enter a world of pure terror, a world of shock, a world of nightmares, a world where your only chance is to run, and you don't dare look behind you. You are about to experience The Mutilator. Don't say we didn't warn you. The Mutilator from OK Productions.
Clint, this was your pick.
It was
a long time ago, and it's your pick again.
Yeah.
So
it's deja vu. This is a flashback. It's like Wayne's World.
So we'll let you start us off. What you been watching? What you been doing?
Oh my lord, so much has happened since then. On the back of having my internet troubles at work, that is all behind me now, and we've gone into full-blown new year, trying to drive for new sales and so forth. And actually, I had something really nice happen. I kind of freaked out. I saw in my email that there was going to be a delivery made to my house. And I was like, I didn't fucking order anything. Like, why is there something coming to my house? And I'm thinking that Catalina may have, she plays around on Amber's phone all the time. And I thought, well, maybe she accidentally ordered something. And I saw in the description that it said Omaha Steaks. And I was like, holy fuck. Like, so I mentioned it last night, and Amber's like checking the bank account. She's like, I don't see anything on there. It's like, I'm checking my history on like Amazon and shit like that. I'm like, I like nothing. I don't see anything. Well, it showed up today. I got a notification of the delivery, and there was a note on it, and it was actually from my company. They sent it because I guess we ended the year pretty strong, and it was kind of like a thank you for everything that we did in 2024, and here's to 2025, so I got a nice delivery from my company that was unexpected, but I did freak out for a minute over it.
Did you assume your daughter ordered Omaha
I
Steaks?
did. I was like, how the hell did she do this? Did she like sign me up for some like, steak of the month club, and I'm going to get like a delivery every month, like trying to figure it out. So, but no, that's not what happened.
Damn those 7-year-olds with their love of grass-fed AAA grade beef.
I know. She knows the good shit. Hanging out with Catalina's actually been kind of like the highlight of my last week and a half. work's been work, and then I come home and there's always some new thing that she's into and happy about. Out of nowhere, the other night, she's just like, I want a Delgona from Squid Game. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I didn't even know what that was. But she kept saying it and she couldn't tell me what it was. So I just Googled it. And so I figured it out that it's a candy that's basically just melted down sugar with a little bit of baking powder with a shape pressed into it. So I made one because I thought, well, what the hell? I'm not doing anything. And pretty much, with the exception of tonight, since then, I've been making one every night for her. And because she keeps asking for it. And we talked about Squid Game on here, and it's like, okay, this has entered my life too many ways now. Like, it seems like the universe is telling me to watch Squid Game. So I did start that the other night, and I've made it about 4 episodes into season 1. So that's been cool. And just another thing on Catalina. Last night she was again out of nowhere, and I don't know where the hell it came from. She said that she wanted us to order her a Peter Piper pizza, and I'm like, that's not a thing. I don't know what that is. Like, not real. And she was very insistent upon it. So today I was saying to Amber that I'm like, how about I just order her a personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut on my way home? And she's like, that's a great idea. So when I came home, I gave her a personal pan pepperoni Peter Piper pizza. She was very happy to have it. So
I wonder what a Peter Piper pizza actually is, though. Like, it's got to be something that she had seen, or
I have no idea. The mind boggles the way her brain works. So she's a lot of fun. She's been very entertaining lately. So that's kind of how it's been going. As far as movies, I watched The Other Side of the Door because Nicole talked it up so much, and all I could say to myself the whole time I was watching that movie was, "Fucking white people, what the fuck?" You go to another country, and something bad happens, and somebody's like, "Hey, how would you feel if I could help you see your dead son again?"
Mhm.
And there's one really important rule: don't ever open this door. Of course, it's a white
course.
person. They're going to open the door. And but at the same time, it's like, why did this woman, this Indian woman, not tell her the whole reason why you do not open the door? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I don't know if you've seen that, Ryan.
I have not.
It's worth a watch. I mean, it really is.
It's so good.
I know I just made fun of it, but the things that this woman has to accept and do, just based on the word of like one person in this movie, is insane. That alone will blow your mind. And then to see what happens after the fact, you're like, yeah, she totally fucking deserves this. I mean,
She was a grieving mother.
yeah, I get it,
Okay.
but
This is on Max, right? You guys keep saying I think it's on Max.
It's on the
you can find it
server.
on the server, I believe.
Oh, okay. It is on the mystery server. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
it's
I
on
will
that.
try to give it a watch this weekend.
Yeah. I'll just rattle off the other things that I've seen. The Scream and Chat group watched Alienator, which I had never seen this movie before. It is a nice sci-fi movie from the 80s. I had a blast with that. It's fucking horrible, but it was a fun time regardless. There was some bodybuilder chick in that I was not familiar with before in my life, but I was like, she was dressed amazing, and I was there for it. Totally.
You're a stronger man than me. I gave up about 30 minutes into that one. I was like,
I'll skip a couple of the other ones I watched, and I'll tell you that I just tried to finish up watching a movie called Blackwater, which stars Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. Yeah, you think, hey man, that's a winning combination.
How could that not just kick ass?
Exactly. And I feel like it was almost like they got together in a room and they were like, hey, you remember when Stallone and Schwarzenegger got together and they did Escape Plan? Why don't we do something like that, but on a submarine?
Now, wait.
I'm
So
still
before
gonna
I
watch it.
before I like get confused about the whole Lundgren Van Damme thing, is this 90s Lundgren Van Damme or is this like modern day Lundgren Van Damme?
Oh, this is modern day.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see how it may be.
So
Because
they're
when you
trying
brought
to
up Escape
recreate
Plan,
the
it
Expendables.
made me think. I was like, is this maybe one of those? Let's just try to do some nostalgia bait kind of movies.
It's something like that. Yeah.
Well, they were in Universal Soldier together, and that movie was great.
They were absolutely.
Yes, it was. One of
And
his best.
yeah, for sure. And I think they got back together again to do like one of the sequels to that. But
Yeah, that one was
remember
actually
that
really
too.
good too.
yeah, that was good. And I was like, this is worth a shot. And oh my god, the writing was so fucking boring. The dialogue was horrendous, and it was a really lame storyline. Sorry, that one fell flat for me. I mean, I don't want to discourage you from watching it, but I mean,
You can't discourage me from watching it. I want to watch it.
well, also on the mystery server.
Oh,
Okay.
Lundgren and Van Damme. I will happily tune in for that and claim that it needs an Oscar.
So I
Nostalgia Wonders.
will yield back my time.
Nicole, what you got for us?
Not a lot. Standard week. Didn't really have anything major happen. I have been in a tornado in my bedroom. You can't really see anything from here, but I decided to. It started with organizing my yarn, and now I have half the closet on my bedroom floor. So yeah, it's. I've been doing a clean out, just purging, getting rid of stuff. New year, new me, that kind of thing. Watching, I have obviously Squid Game.
Squid Game.
I'm obsessed. I'm so obsessed. I am completely obsessed with this show. I finished out season 2 very quickly, and I have gone back to restart season 1, and I am on episode 3 of season 1 again. I think this is my 5th time watching it.
The Man with the Umbrella.
Just the men, period. What else have I been doing? I have finished season 3 of From. Ryan, I'm very happy to hear that you have been continuing.
Oh, you're not going to be once I start talking about what I've been watching.
Okay. And for background noise while I've been cleaning and purging, I have been watching Extreme Cheapskates. Have either of you seen this
Oh yeah,
show?
I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips of it.
Now I have to see it. Because I come from a family of cheapskates.
Oh
So
no, not
I
like
need to
this.
see. I need to
Not
see
like
how
this.
the other ones
These
live.
these would be considered war crimes in some countries.
No. Do you reuse your bath water to wash your dishes?
Oh Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah. This woman
The
flosses her
stank
teeth with
gives them
hair,
extra
so she doesn't
shine.
have to pay for dental floss. Oh my god, it's so bad. I've been gagging here and there just watching this. What people will do to save 3 cents? Like I can't. It's a spectacle to behold. But that's about it. Ryan, what have you been watching?
Well, yeah, I've watched a couple things. I've had a hellish week as well.
Okay.
I pride myself on my ability to handle Canadian terrain in the wintertime. And
Mhm.
something happened to me for the first time ever in my 41 years on this earth. I got stuck and had to get towed.
Oh my gosh.
And I blame the tires. I don't want to shit on my company, but they are very much in the mindset that all weather means winter. And I keep telling him no. But anyway, yeah. And it was all things. It was a parking lot that hadn't been plowed yet.
Wow.
So I got
Well, at least you
stuck.
weren't on the road, so that's
Yes.
good.
No, that was a plus. But yeah, I back's a little tight. Everything's a little tight because, before you call the tow, you try to do the standard things, pour a bunch of ice melt, take a
Mhm.
shovel, start picking away at the ice. Some poor bastard tried to push my van for me. That thing weighs
Oh.
so many tons. But you know what? A plus for effort, buddy. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Wonder
how his back is.
He was young. I'm sure he's fine.
Oh, okay.
But I did get out. The rest of the week was pretty by the books. Working a lot of overtime, just getting called out. Usual work BS. So I was looking forward to tonight, just kicking back, not worrying
your feet
about
up?
my phone. Yeah, with my feet up around my ankles. But mostly just thankful that I can put my work phone away. So knowing it's not going
Yes.
to try to call me out at like 9:00 at night. As far as what I've been watching, I've watched a couple of things. Two
Mm.
things I want to point out. Three, I guess. Really quickly, number one, the three of us watched Lamageddon last night.
Yes,
And it was a first time viewing for you two, I believe, but it was a second time viewing for me. And let me just tell you, that movie is a fucking treasure. It's 69 minutes long, which, I mean, you make the joke about it being nice, but it is actually nice. It's like the perfect runtime for a movie like this.
Yeah.
There are so many just little details to this movie that, and I'm glad Clint noticed it. I was keeping my mouth shut, but you actually noticed it, Clint, the same time I noticed it the first time I watched it. Is that one character's shirt inexplicably just keeps changing scene to scene
Every
with
time he's on camera. Yeah.
no explanation behind it.
Yeah.
But no, you can tell it's just it's an independent movie. It's a labor of love, and it's got a extended llama human hybrid birthing scene that's just unnecessary.
That was a combination of aliens and critters, and
It felt very Cronenberg.
I don't know what else.
Felt very Cronenberg.
Kind of like never seen someone like birth a furry egg before.
I went right to Gremlins. Remember when Gizmo gets water spilled on him?
Pounding on the yeah.
And the little fur balls pop out.
I was thinking of Gina Davis in The Fly.
Oh,
when she's birthing the larvae.
Oh God, that was horrible.
What else am I watching? Oh, so yes, I have started up From again, and I remember why I stopped. So hear me out. It's still a very good show. But I don't know what it is about these thrillers or horror shows. The Walking Dead's guilty of it too. I watch The Walking Dead. I'll use that as an example because I like me some zombies. I don't give a shit that Glenn has the hots for the farmer's daughter, but he's worried that the farmer is going to think less of him and think he's not good enough for his daughter. Like, I don't care about that. And I don't want you to focus several episodes about stuff like that. And it's the same with From. You've got this amazing setup with this town and everything, like these creepy visitors. We spend several episodes. I can't even recall if they're in it. Like the creatures. And it's not for me. The CW stuff mixed in with horror, I don't like it. I'm still plowing through it though, because I did check. I didn't get any spoilers, but apparently that is a common concern amongst people because it was as soon as I said in season 2 of From, and it auto-filled for me. Does it get any better? So I've been told that it is worth sticking it out for the rest of it, so I will. But yeah, I'm very concerned that these creepy monsters that I loved in the first season, I've just kind of taken a back seat to general bizarreness and drama.
It's true we don't see as many of them in season 2 as in season 1. However, it kind of the whole focus of the show shifts a little bit into trying to figure out why they're there, how they get home, the things like how can a house have electricity if the wires don't go anywhere?
Yeah. It
You
kind of,
know, things like that.
remember when
We do get
no, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. We do get an explanation as to what these creatures that come out at night are.
Okay, I
So we
haven't
do
gotten that
learn
far
that
yet.
in season 3. We learn that.
Oh, in season 3, okay.
Yeah. Just keep watching, please.
No, I'm
Just
not.
keep.
I'm not giving up because I said there's a lot to like about the show, but it's just these, and it was the same with The Walking Dead too. I remember season 2 of The Walking Dead is woof. Um, that was where they first got to the farm, and
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't remember. I think we were talking about. I said it feels like a horror version of Lost, and you told me it was from the writers of Lost.
Yes. Or the producers, or it has something to do
Something.
with Lost.
This everything that's happening in this season feels very Losty,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. But yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, I've watched too much of it now to stop. So
The end of season 2, really big, good cliffhanger at the end of season 2. So just keep with it,
I'll
please.
keep with it. I'll
It's
keep
so
with it.
good. And
Speaking,
the theories are like out there. Like, yeah,
so 3 goes even weirder. Okay.
yeah. But it's good.
Well, speaking of things that are unsatisfying, I also watched Lost Highway.
Oh,
David Lynch's Lost Highway.
Oh
Have
yeah,
you
how was
guys seen
that?
this movie?
I have not.
Are you guys David Lynch fans?
Um, I'm gonna say no,
Not really.
but that's only because I haven't had a huge exposure to his work.
My exposure to him is Dune, 2 episodes of Twin Peaks, and I called it quits after that, and now this Lost Highway.
Okay.
Do you guys know who Andy Kaufman is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is David Lynch just Andy, like a 90s version of Andy Kaufman? I swear the only person who understands what happens in a David Lynch movie is David
David
Lynch. And he
Yeah.
thinks it's hilarious that nobody else knows.
Yeah.
And now he's dead, and we're never going to find out
Yeah,
what
I
these
saw his
movies
death.
mean. I don't get it. And the people I was watching it with, like, they were just like, it's such an amazing movie. You have to experience. Like, it's an experience. It's not, you're not supposed to understand it. You're just supposed to experience. They kept saying experience. And I'm like, that I don't want to experience a movie.
You want to
watch
be
the movie.
entertained by it.
Yeah.
You're
you
like,
know?
when does the fun part
Yeah.
start?
So then I
Yeah.
went to like online sources. So I'm like, maybe someone can explain what the fuck just happened. And it was the same thing. You got to experience the movie. There's no answer to the movie. The movie's, and I'm like, if one more person tells me to experience this fucking movie.
Yeah, you're like,
Uh,
I'm looking for someone to explain the experience to me.
The only
Yeah.
thing I have taken from this movie is that, number one, I'm pretty sure David Lynch only knows about missionary sex. He's not aware there are other positions. And I don't know what kind of drugs Bill Pullman was on when he was doing this movie, but I
Oh,
want
God.
some.
Wow.
Same ones he got in Serpent in the Rainbow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, unfortunately, not my cup of tea. I don't even know how. I find it ridiculous that there are struggling filmmakers out there who actually do some fantastic work,
hmm
but somehow Lynch, and I'm sorry, like I know he just passed away, so I feel bad shitting on him, but I don't get it. I don't get it. Somebody maybe can explain it to me, but I don't know how he's so well renowned. Is that the word, renowned?
Yes.
Because everything I've seen of his is just gobbledygook. Like I said, Andy Kaufman. Jen watched it with me too. I looked because Jen's smarter than me. So I turned to her in hopes that, her super brain had figured out the movie, and she just looked kind of angry that I got her to sit and watch it with me. But yeah, so no, there was no help there either. Neither one of us could
Oh,
figure it out.
man.
But hey, if you want to waste 2 hours and 15 minutes, Lost Highway.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
I'm
do
good.
get to see Patricia Arquette's goodies.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm looking at his IMDb right now, and I can honestly say there is almost nothing that I'm familiar with on here. Although, um, that might be interesting. A short film, David Lynch cooks quinoa.
I think I've seen that. Doom was all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it had Patrick Stewart and Sting in metal underwear.
Oh, gee. The singer or the wrestler?
The Stinger.
singer.
It was the 80s. All right. Well, that's it. I got nothing. I'm good rambling about Lynch for. See, and this is what he wants. This is so it did kind of work because I've been doing nothing but talking about this fucking movie since I've seen it. I talked to people at work about it. They're like, "What the fuck is he doing? What is he talking about?" Let's stop. We will stop talking about David Lynch and we will talk about what we came here to talk about, which of course is 1984's The Mutilator, directed by, I don't even got to look this up because his name was so unique, Buddy Cooper.
Yeah,
Clint, this was your pick both times.
it was.
Why don't you give us your first impressions?
I mean, first of all, I just want to say that I was not super familiar with this movie until just a couple of years ago. Actually, a year ago. I knew of its existence, but I had never seen it. This is the type of title that you passed by in the video stores in the 90s, and you thought about maybe you want to rent it, but you're not sure if your parents are going to let you do that, that type of thing. I know I've seen the cover art, but it took my entire adult life until about a year ago to actually see it. And I saw it at a convention, strangely enough. That's because they were doing a back-to-back showing. They played Mutilator, and then they played Mutilator 2, which I just happened to be right place at the right time because the way I hear it, not a ton of people have seen that because it hasn't hit anywhere for anyone to watch it. It's still doing like a little theater circuit and whatnot. So it was really cool to basically get that experience. So my first impressions of this movie is it is a very, very simple story. It's very straightforward. I kind of like that to a degree, that it doesn't try to overcomplicate things. You get a very upfront beginning, kind of like a flashback sequence, which you don't know is a flashback right away. And then just like a terrible event moving forward to like current time. And you just continue your story from there. And I think the only thing I really learned from the opening scene is gun safety is very important, and you probably shouldn't clean your father's guns, even if it's his birthday.
Trigger discipline. So sounds like a good recommend from Clint. Nicole.
This was very 80s. It was. It has one of the most unforgettable opening scenes I've ever seen, and I think it ran a little long, but it was a decent enough story. The reveal was not a reveal. We kind of knew. Would I recommend it? If you're a fan of 80s stuff like I am, then yes. See it at least once. Definitely.
Yeah, this was one of the very few 80s films that I could think of that didn't try to hide from you who the killer was.
Yeah.
And he was full-bodied on screen, like at any time that they weren't focusing on the main characters of our story. and
Yeah.
that was unusual, in my opinion.
I appreciate that he wakes up with a battle axe already in his hands. Like if you had any doubt that it was going to be the dad. Nope. Hiding under the house, battle axe. Already fantasizing about killing his son.
Yeah. It was different. It had a lot of 80s cliches,
Mhm.
group of college people on a road trip at the beach, that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, it wasn't horrible. And like I said, it's worth it just to watch the opening scene.
Yeah.
'Cause he walks in and sees that his son has shot his wife, and his only reaction is to open up what is it? It was a beer or a bottle of scotch or something,
It was a
and
scotch, yeah.
just sit on the couch while his wife is like dead on the floor.
Yep. Pours a little bit in her mouth.
Yeah.
Puts the happy birthday card on her chest.
Oh my god.
I saw an interview with the actor who played Big Ed, and he
Yeah.
said his mindset, because the actors in this were kind of allowed to create their own personas for their characters. Like Big Ed, they had a lot of free reign, and he said the reason he gave his wife the shot of scotch is because in the mind of Big Ed, he thought, well, maybe this will bring her back to life. And
He had free range, and he decided
that's
on
what he did.
reality.
He's like, I'm being artsy.
Mm-hmm. He was having a birthday drink with her.
If artsy would be if he like turned her into a marionette or something. Like
Yeah.
that would have
Jesus,
been
that'd be a whole
funny.
different movie. Could you imagine if the whole movie was just the friggin' corpse of the wife
Hanging
Oh
on
my
strings.
God. Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
like Linda from Evil Dead 2 with the chainsaw?
Oh my gosh.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Incidentally, I do think that Ed's character did show a small amount of range in that opening scene. I mean, he comes in, has a burst of anger, backhands his son, threatens him with the rifle, and then has this moment where he just like it sinks in and he accepts it, and like almost a look of shock falls over his face, and just like a solemnness that I can't really describe. Like I almost felt like I understood his character for about 3 seconds until he dragged her into the room and gave her a shot of scotch.
It should have been guilt for not locking up his fucking guns.
Yeah. Or putting them in the cabinet loaded. What kind of asshole
Yeah.
does that?
Yeah.
There are several things wrong with this.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I get it was the 80s. Not everybody did that
Yeah.
because 80s kids are different than they are today. Like we
Yeah.
listened to our parents.
That one didn't.
Apparently not. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
I just yeah.
Yeah. And I did appreciate the fact that we hopped ahead in time to show Ed Jr. Just as forlorn as he was at the end of that scene, wondering if his dad was okay, knowing that his mother wasn't, sitting there drinking a beer in that bar, and that the dialogue all was designed to guide us for the fact that we've got nothing to do this fall break. Let's just sit here like we always do. We'll just hang out here again. And then in comes the phone call, which of course is, I don't know if it's a collect call. I wanted to think that it was a collect call for Ed Jr., but I don't know if it was or not. Where his father wants him to go down and close the beach house for the season. And he's like, do it yourself. And he's like, hey, if you don't do it, it's not going to get done. Be a man about it. And they all cook up this plan. Hey, let's go spend 4 days down at the beach, and off we go. Right?
Fall break. I do like the fact, now that you mentioned it, though, like you hope it was a collect call.
Yeah.
I love the fact that on top of already got it in his mind that he's going to murder his son and his son's friends, he's also going to make him pay for the phone call. Just like an added layer of fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my
if he did
God.
accept the charges, it would go on the phone bill of the bar. So I
Oh
Yeah.
never mind. Ruins everything.
hope he left a
One
good tip.
thing we never learned is what were the repercussions of the mother dying? Like, how did they explain that to the police? Or, like, did he just hide her in the closet forever? I mean, like, we never, you know,
Do we know
Yeah.
if the scotch didn't bring her back to life?
We don't.
Because
that would have
I'm
been
going to
a
be
good
honest
twist
here.
at the end.
Ed Jr. seems like a relatively well-adjusted human being, and you know, Big Ed wasn't paying for no therapy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
There was no
maybe the
such thing
mom's
back
been
then.
fine this whole time.
Yeah.
It would have been great to like see her like half rotted corpse under the house with him. Like that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Like our this movie's psycho moment.
Yeah.
I don't think they had a lot of time to think about it because if I remember correctly,
No.
by the end of that scene, we heard sirens in the distance, as though some neighbor heard the gunshots and called the police or
Okay.
something. So I think that maybe they just ended up having to be honest about what happened.
Yeah. Accidental shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really.
'Cause he wouldn't have gone to prison for like child endangerment or anything, right?
Yeah.
No, he gave the wife the scotch, not the kid.
That's
Everything's
right.
fine.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I just want to take a moment to say that I think that Ralph is gross.
Which one's Ralph?
Ralph's a guy with a southern accent who likes to drink other people's beers. I don't know. I'm not exactly a germaphobe, but I would have a real hard time picking up a beer that belonged to any of my friends and putting that up to my mouth. Not that I think that there's anything wrong with you guys, but something about your spit touching my lips does not appeal to me.
Thanks, buddy.
Next time I see you, I'm kissing you on the
Okay.
mouth.
I mean, I know exactly where you're coming from, and it's such a weird thing. Like, I mean, like even with Jen, like if I
It's not the spit, it's
if
the
I take a
backwash.
sip of
Yeah.
Jen's pop or something, I'll like aim the can so that like my and I roll my lip up so that the can just rests there, and I kind of because I don't want to touch the actual can. Meanwhile, this is a person who I've been married to for several years. So let's face it, I have put
Yeah.
crazier things from her body into my mouth. I have a problem with the pop can.
I never understood that. Like,
It's just the way the brain works sometimes. Like you can't explain it. It's a thing.
I know exactly. So yeah, Ralph is the character who's supposed to be the comic relief of this movie, and I just find him like exhausting, and annoying. Like like I said, I think some of his behaviors are gross. I don't think his jokes are funny, and he always seems to have some motive for his behavior that does not align with the rest of the group. And when I say that, I mean, like he tried to make an excuse that his girlfriend like failed an exam. She had to stay behind to take it again. It's, oh, no, I can't go either. Sorry about that. And then out she walks and he realizes he's busted. He's like, ah, shit, my ruse didn't work, and, things like setting up the makeshift scarecrow in the one room to like spook the other couple. Like he's just a weirdo, and I don't get him, and I don't like him.
Sounds like that dude from.
like Shelley from Friday
I
the
was just
13th
gonna
Part
say,
3.
sounding like a Shelley from Friday the 13th Part 3. Is he the one
Kinda,
that gets
yeah.
the pitchfork in his neck?
Oh yes.
Okay, now I know who it is. Okay.
Mhm.
See, the characters in this movie are so like cardboard cutout that I even describing like their actions, I'm still not putting a face to this. It's only when I know how they died that I'm like, it's that character he's talking about.
Yeah. It's the same guy who gave the guy at the beer distributor a hard time on their way down to the beach house. And he's like, "Oh, the senior citizen discount, that's discrimination against young people." He's like he's been practicing law or something like that. And he's like, "Tell you what, you give me that discount, I'll go get a second six pack, and we'll both benefit from this."
Oh yeah, I didn't get how this worked because then after he leaves, because he gave him the discount and he got the 2 cases.
Yeah.
But then his wife, the shop owner's wife, comes. She's like, "Did you just did another college kid just convince himself to buy 2 cases of beer?" And the old
Yeah.
man's like, "Yep." And I'm like,
Yep.
they're acting like they conned him,
Yeah.
but they still gave him the discount. Was the discount going to be there no matter what? Like, is that the thing? Is there really no discount?
Yeah, I think the sign was the real ruse. Was I
That's what I
guess
mean. There's okay.
well, because of the location of the store, I think they get a lot of young people in there, and they expect that type of response from a senior citizen discount. They're like, "Hey, why don't I get the discount?" They're like, "Oh yeah," and I don't think they displayed that very well with the dialogue that you got. Like, I feel like the shop owner could have initiated, be like, "Well, I'd be willing to give you the discount
Yeah.
if you go buy a second six pack. That way you're making it worth my while too." And then it looks more like a trick. I think it was intended to be a trick to get more,
And it definitely was, but it
get
just
young
doesn't come
people
across that at
to
all.
pay more, to buy more.
It doesn't come across that way at all, and it's very weird. And that's the thing about this movie too. You can tell this not only a first-time director, but it feels like there's a lot of first-timers
Mhm.
on this movie altogether. I did do a little bit of research, and it does seem that way. That a lot of the people involved, for a good chunk of them, this was their only experience with making a movie.
Very true.
Yeah.
So we do get a lot of these scenes that just kind of fall flat, but the kills are fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know this is nothing new, but I really did find it interesting that Buddy Cooper was not a filmmaker. He went to school for law, I believe, and he decided, that he wanted to make a movie. Like, just decided he was going to do it, and wasn't even sure what kind of movie he was going to make. And because he had seen like a lot of young people really interested in horror movies, he thought that would get a lot of people in the seats, and just based on that alone, decided he wanted to make a horror movie. Wrote this movie, somehow raised the funds, and cheaped out on a lot of stuff, like a lot of indie filmmakers would. When they filmed in this location, the actors all stayed in a hotel that was owned by his family.
Mhm.
So, like, they really didn't pay for lodgings and so forth when they were filming. And the funny thing is, even though you guys haven't seen it yet, Mutilator 2 takes place in a very similar location, possibly the same. Much of it takes place in a motel, and I'm suspicious that this is the same motel that they stayed in originally, because that motel is now owned by Buddy Cooper.
This is like the ultimate nepotism movie
Yeah.
and sequel. But I guess you can't really call it nepotism when it's just you. But because it's been so long, you have now inherited it's no longer nepotism because now it's yours.
I also thought it was neat that they never bothered to change the title card of this movie. So when this movie was originally released, it was called Fall Break. So when it got its small theater release and it was making the rounds, that was the name of the movie. It wasn't until they did like a video store release where they were renting VHS tapes that they changed the name of it to The Mutilator. They never bothered changing that title card.
I was going to say, so there's never, it's always said Fall Break.
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it otherwise. Because it's like, the Fall Break too, like it's a fancy title card. Like it's got that 80s, cool dude etched, like the blues.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that there's no way that wasn't confusing to some people?
Oh, it's definitely confusing because, like I told you, I saw like number 1 and number 2 back to back at that creature feature convention I went to. I was sitting in the theater. It opened up, and the song started playing and I saw the Fallbreak title card, and immediately I said to myself, am I in the wrong movie?
Mhm.
I thought this was the Mutilator. But then I remembered, because one of our friends, Paul, is actually a pretty huge fan of this movie. He actually like regularly listens to the intro music to this movie. That no, I recognized the song because of him, and I was like, no, I'm in the right movie.
You're in the right movie.
Yeah.
I mean, like horror fans like us, we get it. It kind of sounded kind of snobbish. But you know, like people that watch, like I watch a lot of Euro trash horror and stuff like that, and it's I'm no stranger to a random title card dropping that doesn't match what's on the VHS cover or the DVD cover. But for people in the 80s just picking this up and renting it from their like mom and pop store, like this isn't like the mom and pop store didn't have copies of City of the Living Dead or, you know, Zombie Flesh Eaters 2 or anything like that.
Yeah.
These are the people that rented like a Friday the 13th or a Prom Night.
Mhm.
I'm just wondering how many times this tape was returned. And that poor guy who's just running the gas station / bait and tackle shop / you know, we've got a wall of movies next to the soda machine has to explain to these fucking people, no, it's the right movie. Just keep watching.
I thought that too when I watched it. I actually paused it and pulled up IMDb, and I'm like, well, the credits match. Like, why? Like, I thought I was watching the wrong movie. Yeah. I had to.
Are we
double
sure
check.
we didn't? Has anybody actually checked?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like 20 years later, or no, 20 years. Fuck. I keep thinking it's like 2005. 40 years
too.
later, is it possible that we still haven't seen the actual Mutilator?
If
Quite
that's true,
possible.
then I want somebody to come forward and bring me the real movie and see, like, here it is. You know, I want it on like a pillow with like lights shining down on it. I want it to glisten and like sparkle.
Just like the fucking Nazis at
I
the
wanna
end of
hear,
Raiders
like-
of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, I want to hear a choir singing in the background.
Have that bodybuilder girl that just carrying the pillow.
yeah. Crushing a watermelon with her legs.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
We haven't
I can't. Oh my
Now we haven't
gosh.
touched on the kills yet too much,
Right.
and because it's really the highlight of the movie.
Mhm.
What is y'all's favorite kill? Because I have one, and it's probably. I'm curious to see if it's the same one you guys have.
I go with the
You
pitchfork.
like the pitchfork through the neck, eh?
Yeah, classic.
I don't know. I think one of the best looking ones might have been that random beach patrol guy who got his head chopped off with a
Random
machete.
cop who gets the machete like
The one
stuck
cop
in his
that
eye for
down.
like 30 seconds.
I felt that was really good.
I like the boat motor kill.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
the
that
guy's
was good
name? Is it
too.
Dave or something?
Okay. The actor ruined it.
No, he made it better.
It took him 45 seconds to die. It was.
It looked like he was having an orgasm. He was getting
slowly
off on
sinking down.
I want that as my
Then he just
ringtone.
went to his knees and was dead. You know what I mean? He didn't even fall down all the way. He just went to his knees.
Well, that's another example, though, of the rushed production. Originally, his guts were supposed to be flying everywhere during that scene, but the prosthetics they made were too firm, so they weren't able to get him to cut open like they were supposed to. So that's why he's just like, and nothing's really happening. Whereas in reality, there was supposed to be like intestines and all kinds of shit. He had a whole
Okay.
thing on his front full of goop that was supposed to just start flying everywhere.
Okay.
And to me, it just adds to it. The whole kill is just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
45-second O face just drops to his knees. Get that man some milk. It's a protein. There is one kill it's oddly enough, it's the best kill in the movie. But to me, it's the most troubling, and that's what's her name who gets the fish hook through her pelvis.
Oh, the gaff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was super mean. Like all the other kills, like were like intended to be fast. You know what I mean? Like he was
Except for
trying to
Dave's
kill them.
45-second.
Right, except for him, with the boat motor. But the gaff kill, it's like he had it out for her and wanted her to suffer, because that was you're talking about something that looks like a large fish hook just basically being hooked through your crotch and out your stomach. And her action seemed a little bit subdued, considering what was happening. But then I think we did really get an ugly scream out of that. And that was another thing. Can't these fucking people hear anything? This is not a soundproof beach house.
It's a small ass beach house too.
Right. And it's like we had the one dude like
a 2-bedroom bungalow
murdered with a boat motor that is running directly underneath them. You know, he's like yelling his head off and his guts are flying everywhere, supposedly, and then they're like, oh, let's look around a little bit more, see if we can find him one last time. And this chick like gets harpooned, through the groin and dies horribly, and they don't hear it, and they like double back and finally find her. I'm just like, these people are either oblivious, self-absorbed, or deaf. Maybe all three.
That was just
all of the above.
all
Also,
of the above.
Why do you have a pool at your beach house? Who the fuck is at a beach house and is like, let's go in the pool?
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to swim that ocean. It's too much water. Let's hang out in the pool.
Yeah, do you know what fish do in that ocean?
Oh, we know exactly what those fish do in that ocean. Flashback to the Magic Schoolhouse. You're a school bus.
That would be me. I would prefer a pool over the ocean. Sorry. I don't do natural water.
But it's a beach house. Like, would you expect someone to, like, okay, I get you love a pool. Would you bother to, like, buy the beach house if you're just going to put a pool in? Like, why would you want to be on the beach if you're going to have a pool? A pool filled with milk, oddly enough.
Yeah. That is one of my favorite things about that. I mean, the fact that they snuck into a pool that was closed. Oddly, the thing looked tented. There was like tarps everywhere. I'm like, what exactly are they doing to this thing? Like, did it have like a bug infestation? Are they tenting this and fumigating it? I mean, what's happening here? They go in there and like flip on the lights with a disconnect, and the water looks cloudy. And their excuse for that is, it's probably a lot of chlorine in there. Don't worry about chemical burns. Let's just get in anyway.
You say if the chlorine's that fucking cloudy, you do not get in that fucking pool.
Yeah.
No, you do not.
I think that was their dialogue excuse for the fact that they did dump milk in the pool. Probably because the water was too clear and they wanted the shot to kind of obscure what the killer was doing underwater.
Oh yeah, 110%. That's what they were doing. They're trying to hide, because otherwise, like, we've already established that these kids can't hear a fucking thing. But are we supposed to believe they can't see anything either?
Yeah.
Apparently
and
not.
This might mean nothing at all, and maybe there's a good reason for it. I did think that was a good kill, even though it was very quick and you didn't see a lot. But I noticed that when Big Ed got out of the water to carry her away, he wasn't wearing any clothes either. He stopped to take his stuff off to get in there to kill her. And then got out.
He was just in his drawers?
I guess. I saw bare legs when he got up out of that pool. And I was like, that's weird.
Well, I mean,
he's going to be time to take his clothes off.
He'll be doing some killing for the rest of the night. Like we've established, he doesn't have free reign. He's got his little dungeon with his battle axes. And his fantasies.
And you don't
He
want to
might not
do
have
any of
changed the
that with
clothes.
wet pants.
Yeah, it's especially jeans. Like fuck, they bunch up and get
I was
tight.
just gonna say, especially jeans. You ever been in
Ugh,
wet
it's
jeans?
terrible.
Yeah.
It's awful.
But
Big Ed's a smart killer.
yeah. And as much
Killing.
as I made fun of that, I really feel like the Hansel and Gretel breadcrumb trail of clothing back to the beach house was a really cool vehicle to get the boyfriend back, just to kill him at the house.
It's the only time Ed really does any of that cat and mouse stuff too.
Yeah.
He just manages to get everybody else through happenstance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's very blunt.
What else is left? I guess we didn't touch on the ending where Ed Jr. finally realizes that it's his fucking dad the whole time.
I don't even get it. Like, how many clues does a guy need? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, one, he killed the guy's wife.
His own mother.
Yeah, his own mother, his dad's wife. His dad had killed somebody previously at some other undetermined point in time with a ski boat. Was a trophy hunter. Was obsessed with weaponry. Had battle axes hanging on the wall.
I'm gonna stop you right there because let's rewind that a bit.
Okay.
Why does his dad have a picture of the? And I know it's a director cameo, but why? And they're so nonchalant about the picture of this dead man. It's like, oh yeah, my dad killed him with an outboard motor. He ran over him.
Yeah.
That's where you're gonna stop your story, buddy.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, why would you have a picture of that? And why wouldn't the police want whatever camera you use to take that when they're
She didn't have it
investigating?
framed.
Yeah, or maybe the police took that photo. He was like, "Can I get a copy of that? Send it to my house."
Not guilty. Just give me a copy of it.
Yeah.
Leave me alone with this picture for 20 minutes. Not guilty.
Can I have the evidence photo?
Look, I already got the fish and the deer on the wall. Can you just give me the body at this point?
Yeah. Yeah, and he even relayed a story at one point that his father said the only thing he hadn't hunted was man. It's like everything that this guy said converged to my dad's going to murder somebody. And it's like, how could he possibly be surprised at the end when he finds out that it is his dad? Oh my God, we're at Dad's beach house and he's killing people when he said he was going to murder.
It's my.
He checked it off his bucket list.
Dad. That's my dad. No shit. No wonder your girlfriend doesn't want to sleep with you. You're clearly an idiot.
Yes.
And have no sense of self-preservation.
And I do want to take a minute to pick on the wardrobe in this movie. That was so incredibly distracting. The way everyone, and I mean everyone, was dressed. You know, Ralph with his freaking weirdo green sweater vest. You got Ed Jr. looking like a metrosexual John Bernthal in a like flannel shirt with like a sweatshirt like draped over and knotted like he's gonna go play tennis but maybe split wood. I don't understand.
You got to chop down the tree to make the tennis racket.
Yeah. And his girlfriend was like every color of beige that there was. Like she didn't dress. I don't know. I don't even know how to put it.
Like it was the 80s.
Break.
Yeah,
It's not
like
spring or summer break. It's
had a
cold.
Freaking long sleeve shirts on, wearing brown pants, brown socks, ugliest brown shoes I've ever seen. Not that I was really looking, but it's like every piece of it I saw got weirder and weirder, and I was like, how is this the wardrobe for this movie?
Also, everybody was dressing like it was cool.
Yeah.
But they still jumped in the pool naked.
That's right.
Maybe it was a heated pool?
I'm sure it was.
I thought Ed Jr. looked like the guy from Flashdance.
I thought he looked like the dude from American
He
Werewolf
does.
in London.
Yeah. Like David Naughton and the Flashdance guy had a
Okay,
baby.
okay, I can see that.
I don't know if I've ever seen Flashdance. I've seen the scene. I've seen the scene from Flashdance. The barn
The
scene.
pull the yeah.
Oh no, wait. I'm thinking of Footloose.
Hmm.
Footloose with Kevin
Kevin
Bacon.
Bacon, yes,
I've
that's
never seen.
Footloose.
I've definitely never
Flashdance
seen
is Jennifer
Flashdance.
Beals. Oh, Ryan, one of the best soundtracks ever. Yeah, very 80s.
I do like me in '80s.
My dad took me to see it when I was a
That's.
kid. It was
I was just
horribly
gonna say that's a
embarrassing.
ridiculous choice.
Yeah. But we didn't know anything about it, you know. There were no online trailers or anything. I heard the music. I said, "Oh, I want to see that movie," and he
It'd have
took
been like
me,
if my
and
dad
we were
took me to
both
see Showgirls.
appalled. Yeah, that's kind of what it was like.
I watched Showgirls with my grandma. That was weird. I'm not lying.
I know you're telling the truth.
Oh Christ, I miss Mama, wherever you are. I miss you.
But I will say that out of this entire thing, probably the most genuinely tense scene, and probably the best scene of the entire movie was the ending. With with Ed trying to get into the car to attack them as they're trying to get away, and the girlfriend trying to get the attention of the local patrol that just happens to be driving by and not knowing what else to do other than put the car in reverse and just slam it into a wall. It was a good tense scene. It was the only moment I can think of in the entire movie where it was like, oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, there's some genuine tension in that scene.
Yeah.
Especially even too, like when he's, Ed Jr.'s like all mopey about, my dad's dead and I didn't see this coming. Who could have seen this coming? And his girlfriend's just like patting him on the back, be like, there. She's like, can't wait to get out of here so I can dump your fucking ass. But the whole time you can see Ed Sr. like starting to get up in the garage. Like that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
like Michael sitting up behind Lori and she doesn't see it, Yeah.
That's some actual okay, so Buddy Cooper, maybe if he was given some actual time to hone his skills, he could have been a potentially pretty decent,
Yeah.
I don't think he would have made anything fantastic, but I think we could have had a few solid 80s memorable slashers.
I think so too.
Or a good career as a vaudeville star.
Give this guy a real budget, even if it was just like the standard $3 million for a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I think he really could have done something super fun.
Yeah,
because I mean the end of this movie is ridiculous, and I'm not talking about everything we just talked about. I'm talking about the last 15 seconds where Evil Buddy Sr., who is legless now, by the way, because as Clint mentioned, they backed into a brick wall and severed his legs. He uses his last moments to chop off a cop's leg and just laugh manically.
And laugh about it. Yeah.
That's right up there. That's right up there with stuff like Sleepaway Camp, and maybe not as shocking, because let's face it, nothing is as shocking as the ending of Sleepaway Camp. But it's a good, Jason jumping out of the water. To me, Ed Sr., there's something creepy about it. Just he should be dead, and I know the scene is ridiculous, but it genuinely just gives me a bit of a weird feeling. I don't like it in all the right ways, if that makes sense. It feels like something out of a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Anybody got anything else they want to say about it, or are we jumping into some number games?
I think I've said enough.
Number game.
All right. Well, Clint, this was your pick, so why don't you start us off with the ratings? Out of 10, what do you give The Mutilator?
Okay. I used my standard scoring system, and I gave it a lot of good marks because even though he didn't have a lot to make this movie. I think he used what he had really well. There were some things that I would have liked a little bit better with the story, and but I didn't pick on it too bad. I did end up giving it a 19 out of 30, which of course would be a 63% or a 6.3 out of 10.
The decent 80s movie, great opening scene, good ending. You know, there were some really good kills, but I was just, it fell short a lot in between all of that. Little slow here and there. Like you said, typical douchey characters. But I'm not using a rating system. I'm doing what you do and rating how I feel. And I'm going to give it 5.0.
Right down the middle. I enjoyed this movie. It's a very simple film. There's not a whole lot to it. It basically, it's just like to me, this is no different than stuff like Final Exam or Prom Night, stuff like that. This is
Yeah.
just kind of a movie in a sea of 80s slashers, but I happen to love 80s slashers. And this one, in my opinion, because of a amazing opening song that just refuses to quit. Every time you think that song's over, they just go for like round fucking 3, round 4, round 5. The plot is, it's there to serve its purpose. And like we discussed near the end of our go there, I really feel that if this director had gotten a chance, I think we could have gotten some interesting films out of him. But as it stands on its own, I don't get the cult classic status, which is why I'm kind of leaning right around where both of you guys are. I'm going to say 6 out of 10. A little less than Clint, a little more than Nicole.
Yep.
But I definitely, it's like you said, Nicole, it's definitely worth a watch.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of those movies that would be, it's more fun with, and I noticed that after having watched it twice on my own for this movie's more fun watching it with people.
Yeah.
So you can kind of just shit on it a bit, goof around with it. This is a fantastic watch along flick. As a movie, just to sit there and watch it by yourself for critical purposes, maybe not so great.
A little painful.
Yep. All right. Yep. Really quick. Hopefully you guys don't remember from the last time we did this.
I don't.
I didn't either, and I'm actually kind of surprised about the rating. Out of 5 stars, what has the, how many people we got? What is the 14,288 people who took the time to review this on Letterboxd given it on average? Clint, you want to go first? It was your pick.
Sure. I'm going to go 2.6.
2.6 for Clint. Nicole?
I'm going to give it, I'm going to say 2.0.
Went in the wrong direction, Nicole. It is 2.8 out of 5.
Oh.
Really quickly as well, Nicole, you can go first this time. How many people just did not enjoy this at all? Gave it a 1-star rating out of the 14,000 plus. What percentage?
I'm going to say 9%.
9% for Nicole. Clint?
This one always seems to be on the low side, so I'm going to go with 3%.
Clint is closer. It is 4%. And him saying that, I was also thinking that too. I'm going to have to come up with something else because it is always like either 3 or 4. Or
yeah.
Everything. To be fair,
it's never significant.
Never significant.
We're splitting hairs.
We'll have to think of something else here.
Yeah.
So Nicole gets to pick next week's movie because I shat the bed. But just before Nicole gives her pick, we're just going to quickly do our plugs. As always, I'm 1/3 of the Hormonal Werewolves. We do have a YouTube show, and by the time this drops, we'll have just done the 1980 film Alligator,
Nice.
which I edited myself and somehow managed to fit Mary Poppins into it. So I'm pretty proud of that. Clint, what you got going on?
I just plug my own YouTube channel, which of course is the Grease Stain Cinema, where you can find this wonderful show when you're not listening to it on Spotify or other sources. Um, and it seems as though I do this show a lot more often than I do my own, so I'm gonna have to up the ante and kick myself in the ass and like try to get some more indie movie episodes out, because that is my focus. I have an entire wall of movies back here that I've purchased of independent films, and it is my goal and my idea to review them one at a time and put them all on my channel. So Grease Stain Cinema, look for some more wonderful sleazy things from me.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Nicole?
I don't have any plugs, but I have advice. If you order a Squid Game t-shirt from Walmart, size up like 2 or 3 at least. I sized up 1 and I feel like I'm wearing a corset. So, yeah. But I love it. That's it.
Fantastic. So, Nicole, what movie have you picked for us next week?
You're going to hate me. I decided we do a lot of 80s and 90s, and I decided that we should do something a little more recent.
Oh.
And we all have access to it. My movie for next week is going to be Cuckoo.
Oh, I'm excited.
Ooh.
I have seen 2/3 of this movie so far. I'm excited to have a reason to watch the rest.
I have seen nothing.
I don't know how you're going to feel about it. I really just need you guys to explain it to me.
Well, good luck with that.
Because I saw it in the theater and I'm like, I'm still confused. But maybe a second or third watch might.
Well,
It might
I think that's a fantastic pick, Nicole. I'm excited to look at Cuckoo. Who
Me
does that?
too.
That's Neon. I think it's called Neon Cinema. They're kind of up and coming.
I think so.
I'm.
Yeah.
They got that new movie coming
Yeah.
out from what's his name? Anthony Perkins' son.
Oh, the monkey, Oz Perkins. That is like the hat trick of horror movies. It's Oz Perkins. It's a story by Stephen King, and
James
it's
Wan.
produced by James
And
Wan.
I just saw
How you
the
gonna go
trailer
wrong?
for that movie today. That movie
It
looks
looks
nuts. It looks
insane.
fucking bonkers. I don't even know how to read it. Is it a comedy?
It
Is it a
does.
horror? Is it a dark comedy?
It
I'm
does.
on board. All I know is I'm on board.
I don't know. I'm going to be in the theater.
Well, we're not talking about Monkey next week, but we are talking about a movie from the same studio.
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo. Very much looking forward to it.
Dan Stevens.
Until then, though, thank you for listening to That Other Horror Podcast. Again, so many podcasts out there. Try to be the one and the only. We just try to be that other one. Good night.
Good night.
Night.